the guy that I want to look at over on the defensive side of the ball, again, the cornerback room, I'm looking at Eli Bowen, an amazing freshman season from Eli, a guy that I was kind of skeptical about how good he could be. Kind of a smaller dude. He's not very big, but and so how is he going to be able to compare to some of these bigger wide receivers, slots, that he's going to have to go against? And I think the best moment for him throughout his entire season last year, I think he had some really big moments, some really big plays, and just locking guys down. Even if the ball wasn't coming towards him, he still gets credit for shutting a play down because they couldn't go to their number one guy. I think the biggest game for him overall, and I think for a lot of the guys on defense and even offense, was against Alabama, where you saw Eli Bowen take on, I would say, top three, my top receiver in college football. And he took him on. I know it's just another freshman, but he took him on and completely shut him down. So, I mean, I think that was the most important game for Eli Bowen, getting that confidence against a big-time team. And, of course, I think the whole team kind of rallied around that, not just him, but then you had guys like Danny Stutzman doing his thing and Kip doing his thing. You name it, Ethan Downs. Everyone was doing their part on that defense, and it was just an absolutely electric performance from that defense and offense as well, because they just put together a better offensive plan. Let's run the ball, which we do well, and let's just focus on what we're doing well. Let's not try to mix anything up. Let's not try to put the ball in harm's way. And if Jackson Arnold can find a little bit of green grass, just go take off running. And that was the game plan. But ultimately, I think Eli Bowen played a huge part. He had the big interception. He was locking down their key receiver. Again, now I'm drawing a blank on his name, Ryan something. Ryan, man, best wide receiver in the nation, and I can't even think of who it is. Ryan Williams, right? Ryan Williams. Yep, Ryan Williams. Okay, I knew I would get it. Just give me a little bit of time. It's been a long week for me. Relaxing week, fun week, but it's been a long week. But anyways, I mean, the way that Eli Bowen was locking him up, just absolutely electric. And that's what you want to see from a freshman. He kind of had that freshman All-American season in 2024, had just a crazy good year for being a freshman and not even being a starter at the beginning of the year. Ended up taking that role, not expecting it to be given to him, but he took that role. And I think that was absolutely phenomenal to see, again, from a guy that I wasn't really sure what to think about with his size. And it just goes to show that this coaching staff, as much as you may not trust them for what they've done with this team overall, and specifically on offense, you have to trust this coaching staff when it comes to defense, and especially Brent Venables, because he sees what these guys are capable of before they put it on the field. And Eli Bowen was absolutely one of those guys. And I think with that cornerback room, again, the reason why I look at that cornerback room as the room that I'm not really concerned. I just want it to be the best. So I guess that's some sort of concern there. That's the one I'm focusing in on the most, just because I know that we've got guys there that can step up. But who's going to be that Eli Bowen in the 2025 season? Who's going to be that guy, maybe a freshman, that steps into that role and takes it? The guy that shows up and says, I don't need you to give me anything, coach. I'm going to show you why I deserve it. And that's really what Eli did. He said, hey, just give me a little bit of space and just watch me work. I think Eli Bowen, he's going to be the guy that's, even as a sophomore, he's going to be that leader in that corner room, even maybe the DB room as a whole. Him and Peyton Bowen, you got RSJ back there. Boganowski, I think he's going to play a bigger role this season. So you've got a lot of guys there, but I think Eli Bowen can definitely be the production leader. Maybe not necessarily as vocal as some of the other guys that I just mentioned, but he will be a production leader. And so that's a guy that I think he can be really locked down. And again, the biggest reason why I'm looking at him and looking at the corner room is because I look at that defensive line for Oklahoma and even the guys that you got in the second level and tell me that you don't have some confidence there. I've got full confidence that you can stop the run. You've shown it in the last 3 years under Brent Venables. You can stop the run. You can shut that down with that defensive line and then that second level what can you do against the pass game? Because that was the biggest thing, I think, back to the Auburn game, back to the Tennessee game. The biggest problem for Oklahoma's defense was just some of those chunk plays that they let up. Even I think against Ole Miss, that happened a couple of times where it wasn't really that they were able to move the ball a lot or move it often. It was just that they were able to find those plays and get down there. So, I think that's the biggest thing that I look at with this cornerback room is, can you lock up wide receivers? If you're put into man coverage, can Eli Bowen stand up and get disruptive in the pass game? Because I think that run stopping defense is going to be there like we've seen in the past, and that's what I'm most concerned about. And Eli Bowen, with the huge freshman year that we saw from him, that's what I think is going to be the production leader going into 2025.